Before watching the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel and enable bell notification to never miss an update from us.
Hello everyone and good morning. This is Ashika and in this video we'll be talking about daily news events. Right, so over here we'll be talking about a few news events which have been in news and are quite important for the purpose of being examination or being the interview purposes. So the criteria that we are going to follow is to make them as informative, as simple and as directed as possible. But for those who want to attend the questionnaire as well or want to take the quiz as well, you can take a quiz from Entry app, which is available on Google Play Store, right? So you can go to the Play Store and download this app. This quiz is available free for all the people. You can download it and you can take that everyday quiz about 10 to 15 questions every day, depending on the day and the news events. And that will help you keep in touch for all the examination perspectives, especially for those which are objective questions, objective examinations, sorry. Right, and for other parts where you want to be informed about the news event, you can watch this event. And in case of any doubt regarding any news event, you can post them in the comment section, and we'll answer to that as soon as we can. Right, now we'll be beginning with our news event. The first one being Human Freedom Index. Now, what's in this Human Freedom Index? First of all, who published it? That is important. That is Cato Institute and Fraser Institute. Both of these institutes had published this Human Freedom Index. And what data is used in this index? This index uses data from 2008 to 2018. Right. Now, what kind of data? There are about 79 indicators which are from economic and personal freedom, which are utilized in, you can say, assessing the Human Freedom Index. Like that can be the size of the government or the rule of the law, security and safety for the people, civil society, and property rights, rights of expression, right to choose religion, or freedom to trade internationally. So all of those freedoms which are required, like we have the freedoms already listed. So how many of them are actually accessible to people is what is assessed in Human Freedom Index, right? Now, before Human Freedom Index, it was Index of Freedom in the World. This name has been changed to Human Freedom Index recently. Right now, since 2008, personal freedom has degraded. That is what the index states as of now. As in for India, in 2019, if we talk about the rank of India in 2019 was about 94 and we have dropped to 111 now. So that indicating that the amount of freedom has comparatively decreased in terms of freedom granted to people or what is accessible to people, right? Now, if we talk about neighboring countries, India is ahead of the neighboring countries, that being China and Bangladesh, because China has ranked 129, Bangladesh 139. So China is at 129, Bangladesh is at 139. So that being India is comparatively better in terms, but we can't say it is better from itself, as we say the competition from itself. So it is not better from itself. If we talk about the top countries, the top three ranked countries are New Zealand being the first one, second being Switzerland, and third being Hong Kong. Now, the situation of Hong Kong is coming in doubt again. Why? Because recently China is starting to intervene in the affairs of Hong Kong, right? And because of those interventions, the people of Hong Kong might face certain restrictions in terms of their freedom, which is granted to them. That being it, the situation of Hong Kong might decline in future comparatively, right? Now, if we talk about certain arenas, first of all, the last ranked country, the bottommost was Syria, right? Syria was the bottommost ranked country, and out of the score, if we say from personal freedom out of 10, India ranks at 6.30. Freedom from out of 10, the score is 6.59. Human freedom from 10, it is 6.43, right? Right. Now, apart from that, certain freedom indexes are released separately also, right? Like Press Freedom Index. Right now, Press Freedom Index, according to that ranking that was released in April 2020, although that ranking stated India at 142 rank, right? And internet freedom has also comparatively declined in India. Now we'll be moving to the next news event, that being E20 fuel. Now what exactly are we talking about E20? E here stands for ethanol. So it is ethanol 20. Now what exactly is that? So E20 fuel is to promote green fuel such as ethanol, and that being mixing ethanol in gasoline, right? Now you might have heard, we had a certain talk about that as well, that government of India is increasing the amount of ethanol in the gasoline, and that has recently been changed. Like, it was supposed to be from 2025, but now it has moved to 2020 only. Earlier, the blending, when the project had started of biofuels, at that time the ethanol blending was 10%, right? The blending was 10%. It has been increased to 20% now. That is why it is E20, that is ethanol 20. Right now, the permissible rate is 10%, as I told you, but we have not reached that place right now. We are only blending 5.6%. Right now, what are the initiatives that have been taken to enhance the ethanol production, which in turn will affect the E20? That being, first of all, National Biofuel Coordination Committee that has decided to use excess or the surplus amount of rice for production of ethanol. Right, first thing. Then, ethanol blended program, which was launched in 2003 for promotion of this purpose, that is ethanol blending, that has been brought in for the purpose, and it is going to be put in more effectively. And third of all, national policy on biofuels, which was launched in 2018. A policy on biofuels was launched for uh, which envisages the agricultural crop year, right? So that oversupply of food grains will be there, and that oversupply will be used in production of ethanol. So that was a national policy on biofuels, but for this we need approval from National Biofuel Coordination Committee. So once that is done, then this can be taken place of, right? Now, what are the challenges that we are facing? First of all, benefits there are definitely. Hydrocarbon reduces, carbon dioxide production reduces, oil import bill also will reduce, because then we'll be blending the amount of ethanol. That being, the usage of fossil fuels directly is going to reduce. But the challenge is, first of all, the compatibility of vehicles with that amount. Like, the engine needs to be that compatible that it can work with 20% ethanol as well. So compatibility is very important for that blended form of gasoline that which we are planning to use, right? So that being it, moving to the next one, Electricity Rights of Consumers Rules 2020. Now, this is for the first time that electricity rules have been, you can say, designed in India. Before this, there has been no such ruling that has been done. So, the first time in Indian history, the Union Ministry of Power has decided to draft certain rules for electricity consumers as well, right? Now, what do we have over here? First of all, we are going to, according to the draft that has been prepared, the average number and the duration of usage per consumer per year for discoms will be fixed by the State Electricity Regulatory Committee. So, commission, so SERC, State Electricity Regulatory Commission, will fix the average number and the duration of the usages per person, per consumer per year, right? Second of all, a rebate of 2 to 5% has been fixed on serving bills with delay of 60 days or more. So, if a delay has been of 60 days or more, the rebate is going to be 2% to 5%, right? Then, procedure for getting a new connection has also been simplified, as we say. We haven't stated aware. So, getting a new connection has been simplified. That is, we don't need much of the documents. Only two documents are going to be required for setting up a 10 kilowatt load, right? Now, the need for estimation of the demand charges for 150 kilowatt, that has been removed. That is, we do not need to they don't need to estimate how much is going to be demanded, right? Time duration has been also fixed. So what is the new time duration? That being, that if it's a metro city, then within 7 days new connection will be granted within 7 days in a metro city, right? In municipal areas, 15 days, 15 days in municipal areas, and if it's a rural area, in that case maximum of 30 days will be taken. So within this duration, the connection or new connection is going to be granted, right? Now, if someone wants to pay bill in cash, for that purpose, if the bill amount is less than 1000, cash payment can be done. Otherwise, for payments which have a billing of greater than 1000 rupees, they will have to be in digital mode or online mode via e-mitra or however you plan to do it. But you'll have to do it online if the amount is greater than 1000, to reduce the corruption charges also, and more of it, because there are a lot of confusions that happen at times. So for that purpose, like, people have a complaint that we paid, but our electricity has been cut, or they haven't included it, or they have certain or the other problem has occurred, so a date issue has occurred. So for that purpose, everything has gone online for that matter, right? Next is consumer grievance redressal forum that is going to be established, and the forum will have representatives of consumers at various levels. That is, consumers are going to be elected to the grievance redressal forum, and for those representatives at all levels will have consumer representatives. That is, it will include subdivision of ease of consumer grievance redressal, right? All right. Next is National Digital Health Mission. Now, what is here? First of all, National Data Management Policy of National Digital Health Mission has been approved as of now. Right. So, for this purpose, it has come to news that this health data management policy has been, you can say, approved. So, what does it do? It will set up a minimum standard for data privacy protection, so that the laws and regulations can be applied and they can be in compliance with that. So for that purpose, data privacy and protection standards are going to be there over here, right? Now, since all the details of every patient are going online, their privacy is required. So for that purpose, this is being set up. Now, if we talk about the National Digital Health Mission, so this was in response of National Health Policy goal, that is to adopt digital technologies. And for that purpose, there was a committee which was constituted by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, which was headed by J. Satyanarayan. And his aim and this committee's aim was to develop a framework for national health stack. It was them who had proposed that a national digital health mission should be there. That is, everything should go digital. For that, after this whole result had come up, on Independence Day of 2020, the National Digital Health Program had been announced by the Prime Minister of India. So, what exactly is there in this digital health mission? It includes ID, digi doctors, telemedicine. Telemedicine, we have seen that has crossed a lot of number of complaints, and in Tamil Nadu and Andhra, it has been a maximum number of telemedicine, you can say, consultations that have happened. Then e-pharmacy, healthcare registry, all of these going digital is the purpose behind launching this digital health, national digital health mission, right? And who had, you can say, given us this idea? This was by J. Satyanarayan committee. Right, it was announced on Independence Day of 2020. The purpose is setting up digital health systems, creating registers, establishing standardized personal health records, making healthcare services portable nationally. All of these are going to be there, right? Then we have Astra Mk1 missile, IMSAS, and BOSS system. So what is over here? First of all, DRDO has developed all of these, right? And we'll be talking about those. IMSAs I've written over here. Rest we'll be talking about in the headlines. PPT only. So if we talk about IMSAS, what exactly is this? Is Indian Maritime Situational Awareness System, and it has been given to Indian Navy. So the Naval Chief Admiral Karambir Singh has been given it, or you can say this IMSAS has actually been given to Indian Navy. Next, what we have is Astra Mk1 missile. Now, if it is a missile, who are we most possibly going to give it to? It will be handed over to, it was handed over to Air Chief Marshal, that is RKS Bhaduria. RKS Bhaduria, that being Air Chief, that is Indian Air Force has been given Astra Mk1 missile. IMSAS has been given to Navy. Right. Next, we are left with one that being the Army. So BOSS or Border Surveillance System has been given to Army Chief. Border Surveillance System has been given, and it has been given to Army Chief Manoj Mukund Narwane. That is Army Chief. So all of these three have been developed by DRDO, and they are going to be distributed. They have been distributed among the three forces, that being one for Air Army, one for Air Force, one for Navy. Right. So that is important in this. That is who has been given what do they stand for. That is the full form of BOSS, full form of IMSAS. Right. And then we'll be moving to a few one-liners. That being, the Senator of United States has recently blocked a bill that will give refugee status to Hong Kong people. Now, that was called Hong Kong People's Freedom and Choice Act, and this has been stopped, as we can say, by United States Senator. Why has it been stopped? The reason that they have given is that it will, first of all, hamper the security, because there might be Chinese, you can say, spies which can work over here because of the China's interventions in Hong Kong area right now, right? So since China is trying to tighten up the grip of Hong Kong, there are possibilities that this bill can be used against them, and you can say there'll be spies or people who will be favoring more of Chinese government might enter US and might hamper the functioning of the country, right? So for that purpose, it has been brought, or it has been stopped. Then US President Donald Trump has recently signed a stopgap funding bill. Now, what will this give? This bill gives the lawmakers 2 more days to sort out a few issues of ongoing negotiations about 900 million US dollar aid, which is going to be given to them. Right. So, a stopgap funding bill is basically used by US government to ensure that does not run out of funds for running up the federal program. So, in any fiscal year, they can take it, and this gives them a few more days, or passing the deadline, that the funds can be used. Now, India and several other countries have suspended their flights from UK due to the new strain of COVID-19. That we have already made a special video on that. You can check that out, where we have discussed about the new strain. What is the new strain about? Which is VUI 2020-12/01. So we'll be talking about that in a separate video, because it demands a bit of concern over the area. Then Government of India recently identified new routes for ferry services through inland waterways, and this is for boosting the coastal, you can say, shipment arenas of ours, right? So new inland waterways have been found, and the new routes include of Hazira, of Somnath Temple, of Jamnagar. Sagarmala project is also, as you know, for coastline purposes. We have Sagarmala project also, which is somewhere associated with it. Then for international destinations like Seychelles, Chattorgam, Madagascar, and Jaffna. These are 4 international destinations also which have been identified out of the 6 that are going to be there. Right. Then Arecibo telescope, which is an international telescope which has collapsed recently. After the collapse, China has given its own telescope, that is a 500-meter aperture spherical telescope for international scientists. Now, this collapse had happened, and it definitely affects the study. So, for that purpose, China has proposed that it will give its own, you can say, telescope. So it was the world's second largest observatory, which is Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico, this was there, and this was the second largest one. So that being it, they have been given the largest one, or offered the largest one. The National Water Mission, which is operated by Ministry of Jal Shakti, has launched Catch the Rain Awareness Generation campaign under the Jal Shakti Abhiyan Phase 2. The Bank of Baroda and Indian Defence Forces have signed an MOU for new Baroda military salary packages. That is, subsequently new schemes and all are going to be given to the people of, or you can say, defense personnel who have their accounts in Bank of Baroda. Then Coscus, the Berber dish, has been given intangible cultural heritage. Now, this has been given to North Africa, that being Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and Mauritania. Although these four countries have their own personal disputes, but for this purpose, they have come together, and caucus has been given the intangible cultural heritage, has been included in the intangible cultural heritage list for North of Africa, right? And with this, we'll be winding up the segment. Thank you so much. It has been a wonderful session, and I hope this session has been helpful to you as well. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye, take care, and have a wonderful day ahead.